spiritual court was in session for many of you guys. And you had no idea that this was actually going on. I knew this was going on because I knew about this from before last week. From when the Lord led me to the book of Daniel and I put out the word, and the word was, the Lord says that you are innocent in his sight, right? And I talked about how Daniel was innocently thrown in the lion's den. And remember the group of the men, how they all came together, how they all had like this conference, and they decided that they were going to lie on him and try to twist Daniel's intentions and manipulate the king into signing an agreement to getting Daniel thrown in the lion's den in the first place, right? And they took this agreement that they all came upon to the king. And when they manipulated the king into throwing Daniel in the lion's den, Daniel was actually found innocent, and the Lord prevented the lions from devouring Daniel. So God actually saved Daniel while he was in the lion's den. I received this word a while back, like a week and a half ago, a week ago, right? And I put the word out, right? But the Lord confirmed to me that for many of you guys, many of his children, there was actually spiritual courts that were in session. Okay, spiritual courts that were in session, and these spiritual courts were in session from since last year. I don't know if many of you guys remember, right? And many of you guys, the verdicts are what was happening in the month of March. Okay, and many of you guys, you were found innocent in the sight of the Lord, and the verdicts are, many of you guys are innocent and you did not commit a crime. And remember how the devil went to God, and the devil was trying to find fault in Job. He was looking for someone to, devour. He was looking for someone to, pull down. And that's another reason why I gave you guys the word about, I think it was First Peter, where I said we have to be sober minded because the devil is looking for a way in. Remember when I told you guys this, right? There was a trial period happening in court and there was a verdict. Many of you guys, the verdict is that you were innocent and you've done nothing wrong to deserve the type of persecution that you guys had to endure. However, although you guys were still enduring these persecutions, the Lord has told the people who were persecuting you, whether it be through slander, whether it be through witchcraft, whether it be physically, whether it be lies, the Lord has told these individuals to leave you alone. And many of them, like I said in the past, they had this Pharaoh spirit and they had a very hard time leaving you alone. Well, just like the verdict is that you're innocent and you've done nothing wrong to deserve the type of persecution that you went through, there has been consequences for the actions of each individual. Now, the consequences are similar to the consequences here in the physical realm, okay? But the consequences in the heavenlies are a lot more tougher, like 10 times worse, okay? Although there's similar consequences. Let me give you an example of this. Someone falsely accused you, and they lied on you, and you ended up being persecuted for a crime that you never committed, and you had to end up doing time for something that you never even did. That's just an example I'm giving you, right? Then they find out that you're innocent and you've been released, and now let's just say that you sue these people for doing time for something that you've never committed, and you sue them and you receive this inheritance for all the pain and suffering that you've endured. And the people that originally lied on you had to take the position that you were in when you were falsely accused. So let's just say they were thrown into prison now, and now they have to serve time for lying on you, and now they have to serve time for also putting you through what you have gone through, right? It's a similar concept with the courts of heaven. Basically, the pain and the ridicule that you had to go through, you are receiving an inheritance for the pain and the suffering that you had to endure, and the very thing that your enemy tried to put you through, they're the ones actually going through it. Okay, similar to how the enemies that threw Daniel in the lion's den, they ended up being thrown in the lion's den. Okay, another example of this is, let's just say that somebody physically here on earth were committing a crime, and they were going to multiple spiritualists, and they were doing black magic on you, and all these things on you to try to destroy your life. And let's just say that this did take a toll on you for some years, and you were suffering for some years, and it did hold you back for some years, right? And God found you innocent in the court of heaven, right? God has released the black magic off of you, and the very person that had tried to curse you, this curse is hitting them back, and this curse is what is currently affecting them. The Lord said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. So this curse that these people have tried to put on you, the curse is affecting them. So that's another consequence example. The harshest consequence example that I'm going to tell you right now, which is what the Lord revealed to me is happening to some people. Okay. This is actually the death penalty. So physically, how they have the death penalty here, where someone commits a crime and then, they have to go to court, and then there's a death penalty. They're on death row. So they've been sentenced, but they're waiting for their time, right? It's the same concept. God has warned someone and said, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. And God has warned this person over and over and over again, because God is a merciful God, right? And no matter how much God has warned this person consistently keeps trying to harm you. They consistently keep trying to touch you, right? What the Lord told me is that they took it too far. And in the courts of heaven, there is also a death penalty in the courts of heaven. I mean, it's hard for me to even say this, but because that crime has been committed in the sight of God, and God has warned this person or these people and shown them, He showed them. He showed them. Whether He has shown them a vision of their own casket, a vision of their own funeral, or a vision of them on a hospital bed, or whatever the situation is, God has shown some people the death penalty consequence in the court of heaven. Meaning, if you continue to commit this crime and you continue to try to harm His prophet or harm His anointed, the result of your own hands, the result of your own folly is what is going to take place in your life. Whatever it is you're doing to try to harm them is what will actually end up harming you. Right? And God has shown these individuals. An example of this is when God has warned Pharaoh, and God has shown Pharaoh, yet Pharaoh and his army walks right into the death penalty. And that was a consequence for their action. It's the same concept with some of these people. So there was a verdict, there was a trial, and there's serious consequences that has been placed on some people. And the consequences are the crime that they have tried to commit towards you. That is the exact consequence. That is the exact affliction that they are going to be suffering from. Okay, so I want to give you guys this confirmation. I love you guys. I was actually supposed to post this yesterday, but I was like, God, this is so heavy, but it's the truth. So the Lord did say the word death penalty. Okay, there is a consequence for this in the courts of heaven, and that's why the Bible strictly says, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. It's not my anointed, and my prophets no harm. This is a very serious law. This is a spiritual law. There are spiritual laws that have to be followed. And that's why some enemies, you notice, when God warns some enemies, and they actually can see what's going to take place, that's why they back down. That's why they leave you alone. Right? You guys ever wonder why someone's bothering you so much and then all of a sudden they stop? This is why. Because they received the warning and they took heed of the warning. But unfortunately, not everybody takes heed of the warnings. Okay? So I just want to give you guys this confirmation. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. I do have some more words, and they are from the first book of Samuel. The book of Samuel. Okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.